You know, they say that AI can make you smarter and faster and more human. Well, after seeing this episode, you're going to believe it. Check this out. Imagine, if you will, you've got a call center staff that doesn't take breaks, don't need holidays, and can actually work 24/7. Imagine that. Welcome to the world of AI agents. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about a product that just seamlessly integrates into Microsoft Teams Voice that will just blow your mind and revolutionize your business. I'm talking about Teleware's Agent Studio and Connect Pro. Don't take my word for it either. This is what it can do.
Welcome to Teleware. How can I help you today?
Well, I'd like to speak to someone in the sales team, please.
Sure, I can help with that. May I have your name, please?
Yeah, it's Jason Smith.
Thank you. Could you please let me know what company you are calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Ackley Enterprises.
Great. What is the nature of your call today?
I'd like to inquire about AI voice services, please.
Thank you. I have logged your information. I will now transfer you to the sales team. Please hold for a moment.
Hi Jason, thanks for the call. How is business at Acme Enterprises?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Very busy, which is what we want.
Now, when I first saw that, I thought, wow, that's so amazing. I mean, I've seen voice products before, but never that slick, never that responsive. So I got to take my hats off to Teleware for that one. So I thought, hey, in this episode, let's go through a complete deep dive on how to configure it, set it up, and get all the whistles and bells running. And in fact, it just really takes about 15 to 20 minutes to be up and running. So I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know and show you how easy this is, and it will just literally revolutionize your business. Okay, now just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, bump that subscribe button up there, ring that bell, and come and join my learning community. And if you've got questions and comments, as always, get those down below. I always love to get them. Okay, so let's take a look at Connect Pro Agent Studio. Now, this is an AI agent builder. And this really takes kind of next generation call handling really to a whole new level. So service desks, ticketing systems, this is really going to make a huge difference to you guys. Now, what this does, it allows you to go ahead and create and manage your own AI agents. And of course, because it's fully integrated into Microsoft Teams, of course, you can handle all kinds of inbound calls. So this would really suit so many different types of businesses. So coming in here, you can see that you can name your agent, you can create your own welcome message here. This can be anything that you want. And of course, it's all to do with system prompts. So these are the questions that you really want to ask potential customers or any inbound calls. So again, you want them to be as helpful and as clear as possible. In terms of the voice itself, of course, by default, it comes with the Microsoft voice. But of course, the great thing about this tool is that it can fully integrate into a number of different platforms. And if you want multilingual languages, no problem. It can handle that as well. In terms of how actually to configure it and to set it up, basically it just integrates with the Teams resource account. So for example, if you have your own call queue or your own auto attendant, again, it will fully integrate into that. And for me, I suppose one of the things that really stands out is the powerful automations. So you can fully integrate with the likes of Power Automate. And I think it's this that takes the call handling to a completely new level. Now, of course, as well as getting the kind of the system prompts, the welcome prompts and so on, you want the system to be a little bit more intelligent. And this is where the knowledge comes in. So you can add in as much knowledge that will help your customers as possible and hopefully direct the calls. So you can see here, for example, we've got a car sales example. So in here, you might include the make and model of cars, the color choices, whether it's petrol, diesel, or electric engines or something like that. So when users are querying, they're getting real-time responses. And do remember as well that these AI agents can fully integrate with other services as well. Things like common APIs. So if you're using third-party apps, this is going to completely revolutionize that. And then, of course, there's the obvious benefit of reduced staffing costs. So traditionally, call agents would work 9 to 5 or various shifts. Of course, you no longer need those because you can now extend your opening hours through the use of AI agents, an obvious benefit. But as I said earlier, it's the automations for me that really come into their own. So I can simply come up here in Connect Pro into the Actions pane, and in here, this is where you can create your automations. Now, of course, we all know Power Automate and the power of Power Automate, but here you can do simple things like, for example, catch in a customer's name, what the call was regarding, their phone number, their contact details, and this, of course, can then be automatically passed on to an information system such as a booking platform or a ticketing system, or even pass the call to an engineer. Now, the other thing as well is if the call system can't help the customer, then of course it can be passed on to a real salesperson as well. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the caller will either wish to speak to somebody or will require to speak to somebody because the agent can't help them any further. And for that, what we can do is we can then go in and transfer the call. And of course, the really nice thing about this is it's all using that natural language interface, which just makes things so much easier. So what we can do here is we can transfer that call if the AI can no longer help. And of course, for this, it just uses a standard Microsoft Teams resource account, much like your call queues and your auto attendants would do. Here we can just type in here the sales queue. You can put in a description. And of course, you can then specify where you want that to go, whether you want it to go to a standard call queue or be routed to a sales professional, for example. But the fact is that it's super easy to use, and again, it uses that natural language interface. So when it's time for Agent Studio to pass on the call, then it's the job of Connect Pro to pick the call up. Now, the nice thing about this particular product is it's fully integrated, as you can see, into the likes of Microsoft Teams, so that you get that entire familiar experience. And what this does is it's built on the Microsoft's Extend model, so it extends the Teams voice capabilities, which means you can really work with any calling solution. So whether you're using your calling plans, direct routing, or Operator Connect, it's going to work seamlessly. Now, in terms of installation, it couldn't be easier. It just is a Teams app. So you just simply install it into Microsoft Teams. And again, it will integrate seamlessly with your various resource accounts that I mentioned earlier. And the great thing about this app is your administrators don't really need access to any of the complex admin portals, the likes of Microsoft 365 or Teams. In fact, everything can be done here. There are two main admin roles, the supervisor role and the admin user role. Now, the admin user role is really only done or used, I should say, at the installation part. And for the most part, you don't really need to use this account, which means the day-to-day administration can really just all be done in the app here, which is really going to simplify things. And as I said, in terms of setting it up, it's just a basic resource queue, and this can just takes around 20 minutes to configure, but once you set up, you're pretty much good to go. Okay, so let's have a look at the roles and specifically the admin role then. So I'm going to flip over here into my Connect Pro call queue, and we have the sales queue here. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about this product is its integration into the likes of Entra ID. So in terms of adding in roles, configuring permissions and things like that, you don't need to badge your IT. You can actually do everything here from within the Teams app. So if I wanted to add, for example, a user in here and assign them a role, I can just simply type in the name of the user here. So I can bring in this user and then assign him the appropriate role. So flipping over to the config tab here, then we can see that we now have the configuration of our resource account. And this is almost like a resource account on steroids. As you can see, they've actually gone ahead and added additional things like, for example, wrap up time. And they've also added in agent applications. And this is great if you're using Power Automate and you want to create automations into other products, for example, Microsoft Dynamics, and really kind of enhance that whole agent experience. But as well as that, of course, you've got usual things for example, configuring the call distribution time and all of those other settings. So that's really nice. Next, we have the Presence tab, which is great. This is where you can manage your presence-based routing, essentially. And we've also got things like Auto Not Ready. This is where, for example, an agent can't take a call for one reason or another. It will actually go ahead and auto-log that agent out. So, for example, if they're doing a presentation or if they get called away on business or something like that, it doesn't keep the caller hanging on the line. So I really like that feature. You know, there's nothing worse than being stuck in a call queue and not knowing what's happening. So on the Phrases tab here, this is where you can inject dynamic call phrases such as "there's too many people in the queue," really just to keep people informed and let them know what's going on. So what about assigning permissions in Connect Pro? Well, this is quite easy enough. Essentially, we can go to the user that you want to select, simply go into their properties, and in here we have a number of options. So for example, you've got the agent, you can give the agent the rights to do outbound calling. We've also got things like agent or the supervisor role, which I really like. And as you can see, there's two roles here, supervisor and just in listen mode. And that allows the supervisor to listen in on a call without letting either party know that they're actually listening in. And this can be for security or it can be for just compliance reasons. In addition, we also have some agent features here. So for example, working with issues and resolutions, you can also pause and resume the call recording. The Agent Assist can switch on recording, you can get a summary, and also you can switch on a transcription. And if you're familiar with the likes of Microsoft Copilot, this is different because this is automatic and it's on all the time. Therefore, you wouldn't miss any potential business. Whereas in Copilot, it can easily be missed because you have to switch these features on manually. So up next, we have the voicemail tab, and this is great because you can integrate this with flows from Power Apps, for example. In addition, we can also create your not ready labels here. So this is, again, another feature of auditing, for example, but you can customize all of this. So the whole experience is really easy to understand. On the subject of the agent experience, let's flip over and take a look at what this looks like. And again, a really super easy interface to understand. You've got your usual dial pad here up on the left. You can select the call queue that the call is coming from. And of course, this has the advantage of presenting the caller with the CLI number. Below that, you have your various queue stats. So the number of queues, the number of people waiting in the queues, the number of agents available, and so on. Over here on the right-hand side corner, of course, in here, you can see the number of agents that are currently online and what their status is. You can filter them, see what your colleagues are up to and where they are up to. In addition, of course, you can also configure your own readiness label here as well. So if you're not ready to take a call, or if you are available, again, you can change that status. As well as customizing your readiness, you can also customize your call queues as well. So if you want to opt in and opt out of a specific queue, then you can simply come up here onto the top right-hand corner. And if you click on the drop-down arrow here, you'll actually see your queues that are available. Just a simple toggle switch there as well. Again, you'll notice that there are some queues that you can't toggle in and out of. Maybe they're mandatory for you. So at the beginning of the video, I was showing you Agent Assist and some of its awesome AI features. And going in here now, having a look at some of these call histories, this again is where Agent Assist really comes into its own. So you can see here it provides us with a summary of the call, what the issue was that the customer had, and most importantly, how it was actually resolved. This is super flexible here. So again, you can do things like simply copy this into your CRM system, whatever it is you're using. And the other thing that you can do, of course, is it will give you that complete transcript of the call. So as I said, you can copy this into your CRM system. The other thing you might want to do is actually go ahead and edit it. So if there's any kind of words that were kind of misread or missaid, again, that's pretty easy to do that. The other thing that you might want to do is you might want to change the view. So again, I can open this up into kind of a full screen view, get a look at that. You can also search through the conversation as well. As I said, you can copy, you can edit it, and you can also download a copy of that as well. So that being it from the agent perspective, what about the supervisor perspective? So the role of the supervisor, of course, is simply to manage the call queues. I can come in here, I can see all the queues, the number of callers in the queue, the number of agents, I can see the readiness status of the agents, and again, I can change that readiness status if I want to as well, using the labels that we created earlier. So finally, we come to the topic of reporting, and you know the old saying, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Well, one of the things that Connect Pro actually provides you with is a template that provides some pretty neat reporting features. So this is practically live, by the way, so it's only 30 minutes in arrears. And unlike Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams, which only goes back to, let's say, 30 days, you'll get a full 2 years of reporting here. So in terms of telemetry, as you can see, it provides a lot of detail on things like inbound calls, details on abandoned calls, what the reasons for the abandoned calls were. And again, as you can see on the left-hand side, there's a whole bunch of different pages here. You can drill down into things like the call details, agent details, agent availability, and so on. So in terms of that filtering, you've got all of these different reports, of course. And on the subject of filtering, of course, you can also export this out and you can drill down into this details even more. So you can filter by call queue, by users, you can filter by date and time, of course, you can look for potential trends. And as I mentioned, if you find that there's a particular abandoned call or an agent who is having a lot of abandoned calls, this will allow you to essentially investigate that and hopefully improve quality within the organization. So I just love this template that comes with Connect Pro. I just think it's so powerful, all designed, of course, to improve quality. So as well as the awesome template that you get with Power BI, I have to mention this. This is a warboard. So just think about your contact center, your IT team, your department. How many times have you seen this on a big screen in the office? This is awesome. Again, just right at a glance, we can see all our statistics. And of course, the cool thing about this is it's all completely customizable. So for example, if the number of calls in a call queue went above a certain level, you could then customize this as red or something like that. And of course, in terms of more detail, it's a warboard. So again, instantly I can click onto this. I can go in and I can have a look at this in much more detail. What a fantastic tool. So there you have it, Connect Pro and Agent Studio from Teleware, seamless voice integration into Microsoft Teams. More details, you can check them out in the description, and also make sure that you take advantage of that free 30-day trial. Okay, that's it for this week. I really do appreciate you dropping by, and we'll have more next time. You stay safe. I'll see you soon.